everybody. We're playing some Patchwork Scales. This is, Hardened Scales with Patchwork Automaton, a new card from Neon Dynasty. A pretty interesting card. It's obviously, this is directly taking the spot of Ingenious Smith and Scales. What's nice about this is that it's colorless. It is an artifact creature itself, of course, when you compare it to Ingenious Smith, it doesn't have that once a turn restriction where Smith only gets one counter when you play an artifact. This one gets one over and over and over again. That being said, it also has War 2. That being said, like, not getting the card off Smith is like a big cost. It's going to be really interesting to see how these two cards play differently. And I think it makes sense to me that if you're playing Patchwork, that you just be mono green. Like, you're still splashing for Zabaz's activated abilities and Lurrus. But I did find when I was playing, like, the Naya version of Scales, or, like, the green-white Scale, splashing for Zabaz's ability. Brick, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. That the mana was a bit awkward. The mana was definitely a bit awkward in that version. And so I feel like it's going to be a lot smoother here. You only have 8 color cards in the main deck. They're all the same color. And so, like, the pain lands make a lot of sense to me as your mana fixers here, because for the most part, you're just always tapping your lands for colorless, and, you'll have the ability to tap them for a color every once in a while. And so we're also cutting the Sentinels for Ancient Stirrings. I do think Sentinel would be, like, stronger overall, but I think if the mana gets to be this much better, it's probably worth it. Is Emrakul worth the board? The deck just gets wrecked by Tasha's. It would be worth trying to dodge and adding another sideboard card like Dispatch. Well, I am trying to stay away from white sideboard cards. Yeah, the Emrakul I do think is worth it. Like, what's nice about Emrakul is, yes, the deck gets wrecked by Tasha's, but Emrakul can potentially let you tank a hit from Tasha's. If Emrakul is in your deck, you're not going to die to Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Or at least, like, just one copy by itself, like you might some other times. And then, potentially, you can untap and kill them if you have a fast draw. That is the goal. Why Cave Forest over Groves? Yeah, so I did consider that. The main thinking is that I would rather, since I'm an aggro deck, I would rather deal myself a damage than let my opponent gain a life, is my thought process there. Freezy Pop, thank you for the gifted sub. It's very nice of you. I could be, that could not be the correct way to approach it, but that was the thinking. So I'm playing into Lurrus deck. I think I do want to play the Ozolith on turn 1 here. It is a bit awkward if they have Ragavan, because I probably have to play Walker on turn 2, not the Automaton to get the counter, but should probably be fine either way. I also play Sentinel. I would have more Welding Jars. Yeah. I mean, I think the first Welding Jar is good. I do think they've got diminishing returns, of course. We'll see. It's all going to take some time to figure out the list. Thank you, Matthew. Grove has a game against Shadow. I know. I understand. Alright, land would be pretty nice. Oh, well, Scales is nice as well. I think I'm going to try to Ancient Stirrings for a land here. Scales can deal damage over the top. Listen, I understand the differences, right? I get it. Interesting. Well, I understand that there are pros and cons to Groves versus Forest. I really think that we're an aggro deck. Let's just take the 2 damage over the course of the game, but it really doesn't matter that much either way, to be honest. Okay, so I play second Automaton. Man, that Spell Pierce was crucial. I think I play Hangarback Walker, because there's a good chance I'm going to need a Chump Blocker here. To borrow some way to 2k magic a third. Awesome. Were you playing, like, the version I was playing last with, like, Maguses and the new cards, or not? Scales kills in such a way the 1 or 2 life isn't a big deal. Well, I think that is a fine point. I do think that 1 or 2 life gaining on your opponent is not a big deal. I do agree with that. I'll also say, like, taking 1 or 2 points of damage is also not that big a deal. And so, like, either way, it's just not going to matter much going up or down. Is that fair? That seems fair to say. Yeah, we definitely have lethal next turn if we rip a land. We might have lethal if they don't have another blocker if they attack. Do I write my openings every day? No, it's always a chest. I only do those openings when he's here in the chat, but he'll like always have a little paragraph for me to read. It's long-standing bit. The joke is like I would never like write them in the ways that he writes them. Okay. So I could go Zabaz, 4 counters, 7/7. Then I would get to modular 3 counters onto the automaton with the legend rule. Is it 3 or 4 off the Zabaz with the scales? I can never remember. Okay, so it's put one or more counters. It puts that many +1. Yeah, so I just don't know if that +1 from the Zabaz is also added from the scales or not. It's pretty relevant here because this goes to 7. I guess I would only be making this an 11 power creature, so maybe it's not as relevant. Okay, so let's just cast the Ravager then. Any plans to revisit Squirrelblade someday? I played Squirrelblade during the trophy race off stream one league. I was 2-0 and I lost to the mirror. And I don't know. I don't have. I think that there are better Stoneblade variants. Is kind of the problem. Have a good thing for 3 months. Appreciate you. I spent all last night brewing, like pretty unsuccessfully. I hit a lot of brick walls. I have so many like lists that are like half finished or not finished, but like it's crazy. Like I'm trying to put together like I'm getting a little too obsessed with like an Aether Vial deck with Synthesizer and Engineer. I'm in too deep. I just can't picture it. I've been messing around with so many different Kaito shells, and I'm starting to think maybe I've misevaluated. Like I've overvalued like this ability on Kaito. I know Kaito's like been so hard to evaluate. Sorry, let me yield through the turn. I guess I shouldn't do that because of the drum, but I think I'll probably be fine. I was just going like Time Sieve in the Anvil Shell. I think this deck might be somewhat good. I think it needs a little bit of tuning though. Oh no, sorry. I thought it was yielded till end of turn. Oh no. I really needed to be yielded till end step so I can make a flying creature here. Although I guess they have a flying blocker. But I guess that would also wouldn't matter because I should have been able to kill them. Okay. Whoops. Well, I will say Automaton has seemed decent so far. We just need to fade his Shadowspear and we should be fine. We might even be fine against Shadowspear, to be honest. How's Automaton? Well, this is our first game with it. It's looked pretty good so far. It would have been better too. There was like a turn where our opponent's Spell Pierced our Stirrings, and if we had found a land off Stirrings, Automaton would have been like even bigger. But yeah, I spent all last night brewing. It was rough because I just really felt like I couldn't get anything going, you know, one of those nights. Okay, so it's modular onto the Walker, then sack the Walker. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously the patchworks are always going to look good when you have scales in play. Okay, so we won game 1, which is nice because we actually have 4 natural states in our sideboard. I was copying Mr. Sari's list when I was first getting into scales, and Mr. Sari had Nature's Claim instead, and I was like, I sat down and I was like, what 4+ mana artifacts and enchantments are we really hitting? And it's like, it's Leyline of the Void, which is relevant, but I can't remember the last time I saw a Leyline of the Void. And besides Leyline, I'm just like, there's not really anything we care that much about. At least from what I could come up with, right? I could be missing something. But I think the fact that Leyline's not that popular, I think I'm just gonna not let them gain the 4 life. This really does feel like a matchup where the Patchwork is not at its best. Let's see. I'm gonna cut the Welding Jar. I might cut the Patchworks. Cut Welding Jar Patchworks. I think this makes sense to me. Belcher is 3 mana. Oh yeah, hitting Belcher is relevant. That's a good point. Yeah. You use it for burn too. Okay. I hear that. Yeah, I could be wrong about the natural state versus nature's claims. I do like that we have natural state in our opening hands. I think this hand's a bit. I mean, we have Llanowar Reborn, Nexus. I'm gonna go to 6. Okay, this hand looks stronger. Okay, I also don't have an artifact to enable the Spire early. I think I'll put back the Nexus still. Yeah, the first one was kind of close. No Wilt over Natural State. Chalice of the Void is annoying. Well, this deck's kind of clogged on the 2-drop spot. I do agree that Chalice is annoying. But, kind of like I've been saying in the Anvil deck that I've been playing, like, I haven't seen a Chalice of the Void in a long time. I'm still just kind of operating under the assumption that I'm not expecting to run into a Chalice of the Void at the moment. I think I am going to play Scales on turn 1. Just being able to play a 2/2 Ballista next turn is a pretty big deal. I also think that with 4 life doesn't matter for the majority of wins with Scales. Yeah, so this is something that we've been talking about a lot today. Is like I'm playing Karplusan Forest over Grove of the Burn Willows, and a bunch of Scales pilots so far have said that they would prefer to see me play Grove of the Burn Willows in that spot, which I did consider. Fancy with 12 months, appreciate you. And I know that a lot of Scales wins. I absolutely agree that a lot of times when you're winning with Scales, you are winning. You are doing a ton of extra damage, but I also feel like you have Xaxes a decent amount of the time too. Like obviously the games where you're dealing a ton of damage are not the ones you need to worry about as much as the games where you just don't have it all. And I feel like I deal just like Xaxes with this deck a decent amount of the time too. And so like giving my opponent all that incidental life gain as an aggro deck does feel weird to me. But I could be wrong. And I will also say it probably doesn't matter like a ton either way. Please consider writing my pet card. I'll suggest you cut your pet card. My least favorite comment. I think I'll ping the Ingenious Smith here. I think the audio is coming out of my speakers. Oh yeah, sorry. I muted my device audio this morning because I unplugged my headphones. I didn't want you guys to hear it. Windows 10 is pretty weird. Windows 10 is pretty weird. We had this like long conversation the other day about how to mute the notification sounds, right? And I did mute them. They were muted, and then Windows 10 just unmuted them themselves. And it's the same thing with the taskbar. Like it doesn't matter how many times I click hide the taskbar, it just comes back. And like sometimes I'll toggle it, like I'm toggling it right now, and it just that was obviously an insane top deck, and it just doesn't care. Jiggy with the 6 months, appreciate ya. Obviously, I trust you, Mr. Sari, but I just feel like when I was playing the deck, I would just have spots where I like very narrowly kill my opponents. I don't know. I think it's close either way. DMA, thank you for the 3 months, appreciate ya. Glad you liked the stream. Overall good. You can lose to nut draws. Yeah. But I do think that is a good point about being good against burn. Like I was really trying to think like what like Leyline of the Void is obviously something you're interested in hitting with natural or Nature's Claim, but like that's not a card I expect to see at the moment. If I did, I would definitely go for Nature's Claim. Whenever you cast an Artspell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Dude, I cannot get sucked into another bad artifact brew. I have too many janky artifact brews in the works at the moment. I literally spent 4 hours last night staring at my computer, building decks, and none of them really came together. It was pretty frustrating, but that is the reality of a lot of the off-stream testing ends up like that. Okay. I guess I'll let the Surveil happen. Well, if they hit a Dart, can they hit Delirium? I don't think so. Manufacture Brew? Yeah, dude, I've had a lot of Manufacture Brews. Ugh. I'm getting like a little too obsessed. Okay, here's one I thought was kind of cool. That I'm pretty stuck on. A lot of these decks end up just getting stuck. Okay, sorry. There's not. The Kaidos are not supposed to be there. No, this is the wrong one. Dude, I spent so much time last night. Okay, so I haven't like renamed a lot of them either, but like I really kind of am interested in an Aether Vial deck with Asmo and a Ranger Captain, and then I was supposed to have Disciple of the Vault. Maybe that was a different one, but Disciple of the Vault was also a tutor target for Ranger Captain. I'm like, it's all coming together, but boy, could I not get a list that I liked together. So in reality, I guess it wasn't coming together, huh? Some peeps in Vintage are comparing Riddlesmith and Containment Construct. Really inspiring for Battle Artifact Brews. Yeah, I've seen some of those decks. They're definitely pretty janky looking. Good Lava Dart Zabaz. Okay, well I do get to Ozolith. Do I do Red Brewing inside MTGO? Yeah, I usually find that I like MTGO the best for as a deck building resource. Yeah. Can you cast Asmo from the Vial without counters? Yeah, you can. You get to Vial and Asmo on 0 counters, which is just pretty sick, right? Then cast that Ravager. So yeah, I've been a little stuck. We'll say I've been a little stuck. Okay. The Ward 2! The secret text on the card! Can you Violent Grist with it? Yeah, you can Violent Grist. We've got a non-reader. Yeah, I'm gonna move the counter onto the Ballista, I think. All the counters. William, 14 months. Appreciate you, buddy. Easy mistake to make. Opponent subscribes to my philosophy of just make mistakes against the new cards. You'll figure it out eventually. Dude, I put in the go live notification that Ward 2 is overpowered. I guess I was right. It is pretty good. It is pretty good. What happened? My opponent didn't read that Patchwork has Ward 2, and then they targeted it with an Unholy Heat that couldn't kill that got countered by Ward 2. It's happened so many times. Yeah, that's the power of the automaton, huh? Yeah, Patchwork does seem pretty good here. No way, I don't have red mana to kill my own Zabaz, but I do have double white, so I can maybe get a Lurrus going. I do think you're pretty incentivized to play your Patchworks out as quickly as you can, or like before you play your other spells, obviously, so you can get the counters on them. So I guess we'll do that. Leave up the flying. Ward 2 equals Scry 2 equals Draw 1. I think that math probably checks out, yeah. Mr. Siri, I'm sure you've tested Patchwork by now. Do you have any thoughts you want to share with the class, or nah? I think I want to modular onto an automaton. Just because if I modular into the Ballista, it lets them use a removal spell a lot better. Did they errata Frost Titan to have Ward 2? And if so, are there any paper Frost Titans that say Ward 2 on them? Target of a spell or ability put on controls counter spell. No. It is the same though, right? Think it is good enough to see play, but I've yet to wrap my head around what to cut from normal list. Yeah, like the idea behind this build is that like, you know, the white splash is not free. I feel like your mana is somewhat awkward in the white splash a decent amount of the time, and so like, if Patchwork is good, then like just being like more mono green with like the splashes for Lurrus and Zabaz makes the mana a lot smoother. Was my thinking with this build, but you know, obviously, there's so many different ways to like just it's just, you know. There's so many ins and outs to scales. It's like a Ferrari, it's a very finely tuned machine. It's gonna look pretty good no matter what you do. Frost Titans, both players' board is only opponent. I see. Yeah, easy, no changes. Or play with Frost Titan. No, I just wanted to see, like, I wasn't sure if the Frost Titan had ward. I just wanted to see. This thing kind of sucks on the draw against prowess. I'm gonna mulligan, I think. Let's go to 5. Okay, definitely our best hand. I could probably put back the forest. And then I'm putting back one of these 1-drops. I'm gonna lead on Ozolith. I guess I'll put back the Shadowspear. Bobble's bad. You could play Bobble. Like, Bobble is good with Automaton. It's good with Lurrus, right? Oh yeah, I want to see that Bobble would be bad in the deck. No, Orb does not host modular. Scales, it's like a Ferrari, lots of fun until you crash and burn because you can't drive it. Yep. I'd say that's definitely been my experience. Alright, what are we doing here? I'm probably just going to play a Hangarback Walker. What about the Ozolith? It says when a creature leaves, put the counters on O-Stone. How does that work for a modular? Yeah, I don't think that line of text has any complicated interaction with modular. You both get to modular and put the counters on the Ozolith, if that's what you're asking. Can I talk about what I didn't like about the initial 7 things? Yeah, so we're playing against prowess, like in a deck like this with no removal spells. I'm definitely looking for a hand that it has like Hardened Scales in it, a hand that has Ballista, Hangarback Walker, a hand that is going to be able to lock down the board to be able to block easily. But that opening hand was like, what's the name? The 1-mana card from Kaladesh that lets you animation module into the, you know, Patchwork without that many cards to trigger the Patchwork. I think that our average 6 was, you know, going to be better at stopping early aggression. Then we go to 5. Very classic mulligan, right? Okay, down to 11. Got Lava Dart in the yard. 3 cards in their hand. Cast of Stirrings. I think I'll get another Hangarback. And last time I had this play available where I could graft onto the Zabaz and they had a dart. They did dart the Zabaz. So I'm kind of interested in like trying to bait that. They didn't take the bait. Okay, so I will, I think, just do nothing and move this counter on the Walker probably. No Throne of Geth in deck is bad. I have tested Throne of Geth lately. I really dislike the Throne of Geth, to be honest. I think it's worse than... I don't know. I find the card to often be pretty win more, where Throne of Geth requires you to resolve your 2-mana artifact. It requires you to have artifacts you don't mind to sacrifice. It requires you to have multiple cards in play that are good to proliferate onto. I find that it looks really good, like a lot of cards that are win more. Sometimes, but I also found it to be like the worst top deck and to be like one of the worst cards when the board is somewhat even or you're behind on board. Yeah, it's good against Chalice, yeah. That wasn't meant to be serious, sorry. Well, I mean, I was just trying to have a conversation about it. Yeah, I don't know how I could have interpreted your comment any other way, to be honest, but I'm not like sweating it. Just wanted to talk about it. I think I'm gonna block like this. Now let's try to bait out the dart by moduling over here. What, different proliferator like Contagion class for the birdie? I mean, I'm not looking for a proliferator at all. Throne of Death probably would be the best one. But yeah, I think all the proliferators have that problem where like they're good when you're ahead and your opponent doesn't have interaction, and they're like bad when you're kind of like at parity or behind, or you know, worse. Okay, let's 2/2 Walker. Dratchet with 3 months, appreciate you. I do feel like the card Hardened Scales is particularly important in this matchup because like the size of your creatures is, you know, is pretty key to like keep up with the prowess guys. Could a Painland be a Horizon Canopy or 2? Actually, is there a reason that all the Brushlands are canopies? Yeah, people overvalue Horizon Canopy and like these kinds of cards way too much, in my opinion. Where like every single time you tap the Horizon Canopy, you take a damage, right? It's like in this game. Imagine if if this were a Horizon Canopy, I would have taken like 4 damage to it, and I would be at 7 life against the Prowess deck, right? But it's a Brushland. I've taken no damage to it this game, and I'm not at 7 life right now against the Prowess deck. You could play a Canopy or 2, but the reality is that like I think that modern players vastly overvalue the Horizon lands. They really I think put them in their decks too much, in my opinion. I think I'm gonna go for Lurrus here. Just think if I want to pit Pendelhaven this turn or Ballista on 1. I think I'll Ballista on 1. Has module been good? Yeah, it's a good, you know, it's an Urza Saga target. It's good in like grindy games. Good with Ravager. Thank you for 3 months. Appreciate you. I thought you would get thumpers because of Soulscar. It's a bit weird. This used to be a more common interaction, but if Soulscar outright kills the Walker, you do get the Thopters if it kills it all in one go. But if they can't shrink it over time. I don't really know why it works that way, but I do know it does work that way. What's the Lurrus X spell? So if you're like, you can only do Hangarback Walker X equals 1. Since if you were to do X equals 2, that would be a mana value 4 spell, which Lurrus can't play. Okay, so I think I am chump blocking here. Is that a Moto bug or in paper also? I believe it's in paper. I believe that is how it's supposed to work. Okay, so I'm going to ping the Swift Spear. They have to cast another spell to save it. Where's Sentinel? So the idea behind Automaton, in my opinion, I guess I should have blocked the other way, sorry. The idea behind Automaton is that you're playing it over Ingenious Smith, and if you're doing that, like, you can make your mana a lot better by playing Ancient Stirrings over Sentinel. I do think that Sentinel is quite good, but that's the kind of idea we're testing with this build, if that makes sense. Okay. So I can go Animate Nexus to turn on Spire, and I can go Lurrus into a 1-drop. But I think I would prefer to try to play Lurrus after my opponent has spent their turn with Lightning Bolt. I'm doing well here. I hope you're doing well too. I mean, IDK, if drawing cards with Lance Mitigated Flood is overvalued. I mean, it's a bit deeper than that. Like, look at our scales list, right? We've got the initial comment was, is there any reason to not play Horizon Canopy over sorry, it's wrong list. Horizon Canopy over Brushland, right? Yes, because like every single time you take it, you're casting it for damage. It's a very mana hungry deck. We also already in this list have 4 Urza Saga, 2 Llanowar Reborn, a Boseiju, 4 Inkmoth Nexus, and a Pendelhaven as utility lands. We have like no shortage of utility lands. We have Lurrus as a you know, flood insurance. We have a lot of X spells. We've got animation module as a good way to sink your mana into stuff in the late game. This I think all of these things combined do make me not want to play I think I'm just gonna take that. I think all of these things combined make me not interested in Brushland over Horizon Canopy, right? And I also do think that like a lot of times people will play. I think Fire Island is not a good card in Murktide. I think like the deck is relatively mana hungry, and whenever I play with or against Island, I feel like the amount of life it costs you on average is not worth the situations where you get to sack it for a card in the late game. And like a lot of deck builders are just like, let's just add some sack lands to these decks, but those cards have very real costs associated to them, especially in a format that's as mana hungry as Modern. It's a song that plays during Sub Alert. It's a little jingle my friend Jalen put together. He's got a composition degree. Okay, pretty scary. Okay, so what are we playing off the Lurrus? Probably Hangarback Walker. Not looking like we're in great shape, though. Why does humans like 4 to 5 copies of the Canopy lands? Genuinely asking. So it's a combination of a few different factors. Like one, like you are looking for mana fixing beyond just your like human lands too. And then humans is also like, when you compare humans to a deck like this, right? Humans actually doesn't have like much card draw. There are obviously like some versions that you can build the deck with more card advantage, of course, but like this deck has Lurrus, it has mana sinks, it has like a lot of ways to mitigate. It has Urza Saga, has a lot of ways to mitigate flood. Humans doesn't have that card advantage. Humans just plays the cards in their hand and then they have nothing else. So like humans and burn, I think, are the two best examples of I'm just gonna block. Maybe I'll double block here actually. Well, then a 1 burn spell kills this. I mean, I don't really have maybe just don't have a good play. I'll try this. Yeah, humans, like, they just play their hand out and then they need cards to refill. And so Burn does the same thing. They just play the cards in their hand. Okay, so this gets countered, but they eat my Lurrus. I still stay at 4 life. They've got 1 card in their hand. They still have their Lurrus, though. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't. I kind of feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Yeah, the Canopy lands are also better with Vial. So I animate Nexus, they bolt the Nexus. I go to 1. I don't have any outs, so we'll go to game 3. I see the mono black coffers. So someone mentioned the mono black coffers list that Trellon was working on. I haven't seen it, but if you want to link it, I'll take a look. Yeah, the double block would have been a lot better. Plays very well against, yeah, exactly, the Smash to Smithereens. Maybe too complex question. How would I build the team Rhino's mana base with 2 Boseiju? Don't play 2 Boseiju. Just play 1. The downside of legend rolling your lands is not worth the upside of like getting to channel Boseiju more often, in my experience, in my opinion. So that is my advice to you. Don't do it. Please don't do it. The Painland colors for Zabaz, Zabaz and Lurrus, which is another thing here. It's like the idea is like to build the mana base consistently with like a relative like lack of pain, where you have 8 colored spells in the main deck. And so it's like when your pain lands are you're just not tapping your pain lands for colors very often. You know what I mean? Isotoping for 12 months, appreciate you. Yeah, so I have heard a little bit about this. 220221 Coffers Control. Yeah, I heard Evoke Despair was in this. So this is 3 Urborg 3 Coffers, 25 lands. Duress over Inquisition is odd. 3 Expedition map. Looks pretty cool. It is definitely a Trellon deck. Ooh, we drew the Ozolith. It's pretty big. I'm trying to think if I should play the Saga this turn or not. I think I'm really unlikely to make any tokens this game with Saga. But I do think that getting the tutor off is pretty nice. Like getting Zabaz or... probably Zabaz. Does seem pretty nice here. Icy with 4 months, appreciate you. Thanks for Killer Con and start for the Soul Scar Major and Arcbound. No, that was, I mean, I think that was a good conversation to have. Did it path me? I do have one more basic. Maybe they'll bolt the Walker. Should be fine. I would invoke Despair to be good with cost 5. Yeah, it's like... Yeah, five mana sorceries have... I haven't been a huge fan of. Like, Bring to Light has been a card that's been pretty near and dear to my heart, but I do feel like there's just so many counter spells. It's hard to play too many 5 mana sorceries in Modern right now. Especially when you're not playing Teferi Time Raveler. Maybe I should just make a token. They see they're holding removal. Wouldn't Oz as Stirrings be better? I am. This is a good exchange for us, right? My opponent bolting my Hangarback Walker is a favorable exchange for us. If the pathing Hangarback Walker is a good exchange for us, they can't Lava Dart it. Yeah, I think this was correct. Just like I think walking into the favorable trade makes sense to me. But if the trade if we didn't think that Lightning Bolt would be a good exchange, then I do think your line is better, right? Traylon also said he does not want to buy Thoughtseize. Wait, there weren't Thoughtseizes in the deck? Okay, next time I see Traylon live, I'm gonna give him for Thoughtseize. Wait, they are in the deck. Do you mean Inquisitions? Okay, do I want to block the 3/3? I think I'm just gonna take the hit. They only have 3 cards in their hand. Wait, Duress? Well, right now, this list I was linked has 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Duress. So I think those Duresses should be Inquisitions. Which are not very expensive on Magic Online. I think they're like 50 cents, maybe. Maybe I could be wrong. It's an Inquisition of Kozilek, chat. What could it cost? 50 cents? Okay, I'm not sure what we're getting here. I think Zabaz. Could get Welding Jar. Let's get the Welding Jar. Then I think I just like swing it out. We're at 18. 2.5. Oh, I thought with the Strixhaven arts like really made it really cheap. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Jar bad versus Soulscar? Well, they have Smash the Smithereens in their deck, right? Like they showed us multiple smashes last game. So yeah, this is the thought process. Might still be dead. We're at 15. They got 2 prowess creatures, 3 cards. It'd be tough for them to kill from the spot. Welding seems bad versus Mage. Yeah. I should have articulated that point a bit better. But it's also like with these constructs being this big, like they're not going to be able to Soulscar Mage them down. Okay, so they can get rid of both of my constructs now. Have you seen the video where they have rich people guess the guys at groceries? Well, I was quoting something very similar. There's Arrested Development. There's a character who's a rich out of touch lady who says it's just a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10 or maybe she said 15, but yeah, I was quoting that. I haven't seen that video though. It's probably pretty good. Not sure why Meathook is 45 ticks. I'm not sure either. Well, I mean, the AFR cards are all really expensive for some reason. Well, the reason is, like, on Magic Online, people were still obsessed with Modern Horizons, and, like, AFR was not Modern Horizons, so people were just, like, kind of ignored it. Arrested Development is critically underrated in early seasons. Yeah, I love Arrested Development. I've never seen Esther laugh harder in her entire life either. More than the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development. She just, like, she loves the first 3 seasons. Hook is Val? No, is it? I thought Hook was AFR. If it is Val, then obviously my comment makes no sense. Okay, so obviously they have Path Up for this. If I make Nexus a creature, play Ravager, sack Nexus to Ravager, it's going to be a 4/4. Then I can put counters here, and I beat 1 removal spell. Hook is definitely Val. It's been okay. Well, I'm old and out of touch, I guess. I also think I beat 1 removal spell even without sacking the Nexus. But I think I'm just gonna give myself the ability to anyways. Massacre's Midnight Honey for pricing has nothing to do with it. Yeah, then I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought for sure it was AFR. I mean, a lot of it is true that a lot of the AFR cards are really expensive though. I don't know why that was expensive. Like a 2K this weekend. 50 players for relative have the list. What are my thoughts? Yeah, can you post a link in the chat? I can't paste for this view. Play Ravager, attack, wait for them to path. Well, if I do that, then I don't get the Ozolith triggers, but it also doesn't matter, right? Like I'm beating the path no matter what. But I can make all 3 creatures lethal if I do this pre-combat. But it shouldn't matter either way. John, Ragavan, Voidwalker, Kroxig, Goyf, Spyro. Oh no. Our Queen, Vraska. Back when Modern Horizons 2 first came out, I was playing a lot of Jund with, I guess the construct is, I guess it goes down to 4 power. Still, we do get to make 2 lethal attackers. This just ends the game. They've got 1 mana up. They would have to have Gut Shot. Though Gut Shot doesn't even do it because they take too much damage. Or no. This streak's under 3/3. Maybe Gut Shot does do it. So yeah, when we were playing a lot of when Modern Horizons 1 first came out, that's when the stream was first starting. I was playing a lot of Ren and 6 in Jund, like right away. It was really exciting. And I loved my one of Vraska Golgari Queen. I really don't think this is where you should be at the moment though. Like Seasoned Pyromancer has been, in my opinion, the best like top end for Jund. And I would just play 4 Spyro 0 Vraska. I would also probably play a 3/3 split of Liliana Grist. Maybe even 4 Liliana 3 Grist or 2 Grist. I do think you want at least 3 Lilianas. But yeah, it hurts to say. It hurts to say, but I think our Queen is So I guess if I modular here, I don't lose to Gut Shot. So let's do that. Yeah, so I think cut the Vraskas for Spyros, cut 4th Grist for 3rd Liliana, potentially play 4 Liliana 2 Grist, just flip those numbers in my opinion. Let's keep this. Okay, Sentinel, very good against our hands. I think I'll just play the Llanowar Reborn here. We've seen any Patchwork? Actually, you've seen some. It's been pretty good so far, I think. See if 2 Grist 4 Cs. Yeah, there's kind of like no shortage to cards that Thoughtseize hits in Modern right now that like relevant cards that Thoughtseize hits that Inquisition misses. It's like it's Fury, Solitude, Omnath, Primeval Titan, Goblin Charbelcher, are like kind of like a short list, but it goes on and on and on of like relevant played cards that Thoughtseize hits and Inquisition misses. that are like super important to discard with the discard spells. And I know that I know that it makes it more painful, but this is my opinion. Okay, so I think I go Automaton Ozolith, let them draw a card and try to kill them next turn. Yeah. Solitude, Fury, Primeval Titan, Goblin, Charbelcher, Obnath, did I say Titan? All Car in the Great Crater, all the Tron cards, Thought Monitor, are all like, all of these are incredibly relevant cards that, Thoughtseize hits, Inquisition misses. Ooh. Yeah, they definitely need to keep the Ornithopter here to not die. Oh yeah, Murktide Regent, that's another huge one, Murktide Regent, of course. I could block sack. I think I might have to. I think I'm 1 mana shy of killing my opponent. Oh, sorry. I guess they don't have to block with the Min-Might here. So the Ornithopter. Yeah, I need the Zabaz still in play to block sack. So I think I need the Stirrings in order to kill my opponent next turn too. Ugh, so tough. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking the Ornithopter would die to the chump blocks. I was thinking I could sack the Zabaz. Obviously that's not the case. Letting them draw 2 cards feels pretty bad too, but I do feel like it's where we're at. Okay, Zabaz is exactly what we need here, I think, to make both Nexuses lethal next turn. So we go block sack, counter on the Ozolith, 5 counters on the Ravager, and then next turn we can go Zabaz, animate Nexus, and so the goal here is to make the Ravager able to put 9 counters on a Nexus. So this is gonna be 6 from the Zabaz, the Ozolith, 7, 8, 9 from the other Nexus. Yeah, okay. So we obviously need to not die. And we need to not have another flying blocker. So we need to dodge a lot of stuff, but we can. Possibly. Emrakul, thank you, Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. No acknowledgement for my 11-month resub. Oh, sorry, dude. I was focused on something. Thank you for the 11 months. Treat Sentinel as 1 mana Thalia. Is it incorrect? It's incorrect to always pay for Sentinel. It's incorrect to just treat like this means you cannot cast spells. Yeah. You have to cast spells sometimes into it. Alright, yeah, dead to even just the cranial plating we know about, so let's go to game 2. Like, I didn't have lethal next turn unless I cast the Stirrings. Hammer's been really popular lately. This was how I sideboarded last time. I think I'm gonna run it back. Yeah. So, like, you will pay for Sentinel when you can, but there are spots where you just can't do it. Second Ravager puts counter on Ravager and on Ozolith. Yes, it does, but the problem was my opponent has like the Ornithopter as the flying blocker, so I needed to animate both Nexuses next turn and put 9 counters on one Nexus after they block, which I would have been able to do. Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, Wizards sent me the big Neon Dynasty gift box thing, and they had the vehicles EDH deck, and it's crazy the stuff that's in there. It's crazy the stuff that's in there. The list looked really cool as a blue-white vehicles commander deck. Like I actually really want to play it. But there was like a lot of cool stuff in that deck. Could maybe grab it. I don't know how much they retail for, but it seemed like a lot of good value. So we get modern Lecture Rectus Ruck deck. I don't know if I should be concerned about Lurrus ban. I mean, if Lurrus gets banned, Red Black X survives. Lurrus, I do think Lurrus should get banned, but will they ever ban it? I don't know. Okay, this hand's obviously very close. Gonna mulligan the one lander though. Keep this one, put back second stirrings. This is me, set box open. Yeah, I already opened it. I couldn't help myself. It was Sunday night. Me and Esther we've been looking at houses all weekend. We're so stressed. We found a house we really liked. We put our first offer in. It was a long stressful weekend, long stressful process, and then we opened the set booster as a treat at the end of the at the end of the ordeal. Delta, thank you for 10 months. Appreciate Jim. Do I follow Legacy metagame anymore when I do deck for Legacy? I'm not in tune enough with Legacy to give you. Okay, can't kill that. We can play around it though. I'm not in tune enough with Legacy to give you your money's worth for deck tech on it. I put in 20-ish offers before next. Yeah. I know that so the offers on that house are due tonight. It was the first one. Like we were learning also like the whole process, how it all works. It was very confusing and convoluted. I think I'll take a land here. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we don't really think that we're gonna get this one, but we're hoping. The due date on the offers is today, so hopefully we can hear back tomorrow. Aim, thank you for 3 months. Appreciate you. Okay. They might kill my Urza Saga here. I'm gonna block with Zabaz and sack it to Ravager. When you get the house, it's they have hostile hotel brews, of course. Not sure how competitive the housing market where it's at. It's pretty competitive. We put in a pretty good offer though, but the reality is they were also like asking like way too little, to be honest. So we'll see if I'll let you guys know how it goes, of course. But at the very least, like we kind of know how it goes now. Just gonna outbid in cash. Yeah, that's what we're afraid of too. Yeah, we're not trying to buy in Dallas. Well, we're thinking about it for a little while, but it's that's not the city we live in now. It is Dallas is like that area is closer to where Esther works, but yeah, we're more west. We're trying to stay in the city. What's my address now? You don't know your mom's address? Yeah, I'm wishing you luck, Horsesuit. I know. You know, it's just all unsustainable, to be honest, like how crazy the housing market is. I kind of like making a token, so I have an extra blocker. I'm definitely getting the Ozolith here. I feel like against the Seal of Cleansing, just getting an extra body in play makes a decent amount of sense. And also because I've got the Ozolith coming and a second Ravager in hand, I can maybe block with the Ravager this turn. Just trying to think. Yeah, I think I'll block with the Ravager. At least give myself the ability to. I think I have lethal. There's a Seal of Cleansing in play. I definitely do not have lethal here. I guess I could have needled the Seal of Cleansing too. Maybe that was better. Okay. There's really no reason for them to seal then, right? They could have at least taken a draw. There's a Seal of Cleansing in play. There's no way I could present lethal. I feel pretty confident that there's no way to present lethal there. Game for Dreadnought, where he at? We'll play Dreadnought again. I don't know if we're playing any today. Not a finance stream. Well, no, sorry. This is not an MTG finance stream. It is. It's always been a housing market stream, though. I don't know. It's all pretty stressful. But I just want to make sure I can get Esther in a good house, a good home for our family. My #1 priority. I think land is lethal here. Okay. Yeah, land is lethal. Oh no. Newly controlled. Okay, this is always the problem with when you have 2 Nexus and one is summoning sick. You got to make sure you got the right one. Oh, sorry, hold on. I think I miscounted. No, I miscounted. I'm committed though, right? So I get to put 2 counters here. No, it is lethal. Okay. Sorry. Oof. I should have double checked the math. This is what I counted the first time. And then I mentally did it again and like wait, what? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, good advice for scales, double check the math. Okay, so I can bring in Welding Jar for Seal of Cleansing, but I also have Needle. And Welding Jar probably only is good against Seal of Cleansing. It's hard to know how many they play. Reed Saw here at the Final Fantasy streams. I've lurked a little bit in those, but I don't know what's going on. It is cool sometimes watching, you know, like streamers that you like play a game you know nothing about. So please watch my Elden Ring streams. Please, anybody. We're gonna have a good time. Yeah, I don't know. So I want to play some Elden Ring. I don't know when does it actually become available. I'm sure some of you nerds know. But so it's a bit February 25th. Yeah, so like what time February 25th? Because yeah, so the 25th is Friday, but people keep saying Thursday, so I assume that means it becomes available Thursday night. I think I should play Scales on turn 1 here. I know that they get a draw card. Earlier on PC. So here's the thing. I have a meeting like Friday afternoon. And so my goal initially was to you know, do a regular stream into like a long Elden Ring stream the day it comes out. So it is so but because I've got this meeting that I can't miss, it's going to be a bit more complicated than that. Okay. Good hand. What do we do here? I guess I'm playing Ballista. Block, ping them for 2. Zabaz and put ink counter. Yeah, we could do that. I kind of like just block ping into Ravager Zabaz. Or I kind of like just actually losing the game instead. Okay. 2-1. Yeah, I used to, you know, back before, like, you know, the stream was my full-time job. I did do some Dark Souls streams. They're really fun, but, you know, with the stream being my full-time job, it's pretty important to me that I, you know, don't mess around as much as I used to. But I liked doing the Dark Souls streams. Yeah, 1K variety. I doubt we'll have 1,000 viewers for Elden Ring. What's my favorite boss from Dark Souls? Black Flame Frida. For sure. I also kind of honorable mention to the Ivory King, who I feel like is the hardest boss. I've linked to global Elden Ring release times. I could look it up later. I'll figure it out. Dude, 1 land. Channeler double bobble, missed the second land. That's gotta feel horrible. That has got to feel horrible. Okay, I'm gonna play Patchwork this turn. Unkillable, like literally hexproof. You get a lot of views because it's Elden Ring? I don't think so. There's gonna be everybody and their mom is gonna be playing Elden Ring. You know, it is gonna be like I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of viewers. If I was the only one streaming it, yes, but I'm not gonna be. My mom wasn't playing. Ask her again. Yeah. It's also definitely true that like people are not gonna want to get spoiled for it too. Okay, so what happens if I just go Zabaz, 3 counters up to 8. Then this has 4 counters. Then I sack this up to. Yeah, I mean. This seems pretty good, and what's nice about this is like it is actually an unkillable machine. Like they would need double Unholy Heat, plus 5 total mana, which is just not going to happen this game, or 6 total mana. Sorry. They need a tragic slip. Patchwork. 2K with a hot tub stream? Yeah, maybe. I was trying to get Doom to do it in Vegas. Yeah, just gonna grab Shadowspear next turn. Yeah, we're gonna win this game, I think. Yeah, Diabolic Edicts. Golly. Okay, I don't know what their game plan is. I think I'm just gonna grab Shadowspear though and play a 3/3 Ballista, and so it's like, all right, you can deal with this, or you can deal with this, but you probably can't deal with both. Like if their plan is like Snapcaster Chump Blocker, then that doesn't beat this. Yeah, Vapor Snag incoming. That would have been pretty gross. Okay, got a couple Veil Summers. I might trim the 4th Stirrings. An animation module. Dress Downs. Yeah, Dress Down is gonna suck. Assuming they have it. Not everybody has Dress Down. Heard something. Whatever. Card Stop Modular. Modular is not an activated ability, it's a triggered ability. Is Relic worth bringing into pressure? You could bring in Relic, yeah. I don't think it's... Yeah, Relic's probably fine. Just like 1 as a target. I'll cut other Stirrings. Oh, my cards are falling off. Yeah, that is what it sounds like. Yeah, they've got to be like sliding down. That's okay. It's part of the experience. The board just like slowly decaying. Yeah, living monument, a live exhibit. Yeah, an abrupt decay of the the conspiracy board. Yeah, so I don't know. I do want to change backgrounds at some point. We've had this one for over a year now. I think. I'm scared to touch it. I'm scared it's gonna all fall apart. But yeah, this is all. It's loosey goosey. But I was thinking of like saran wrapping it and hanging it up in my living room, or maybe a different room. Has it really been a year ago, Clouds? I think so. I think so. It would be pretty easy to check if someone wants to like look on the YouTube, right? And just see how long it's been. Like just go back a year, see if we have the collage. Or maybe I don't. Maybe my editor hasn't been uploading for a year. I don't know. Maybe it hasn't been a year. My dream background, my dream stream background is a giant aquarium. That is the dream. Didn't hear you. In-store, did y'all forget to accept? We're waiting. We put it in on Sunday. Today is the last day that they're taking offers, so we'll find out tomorrow. Probably, maybe tonight. Decided on class for Elden Ring. No, I don't really. I haven't like looked into anything, so I'm gonna just kind of go in blind. But I usually like to play more strength-based characters. Really live out that fantasy, you know. Okay, well, dress down's great against us. This is, you know, probably best case scenario for the dress down. Did they make me write a letter? Wait, did they make me write a letter? We had to do it a few times and it's BS and illegal. I don't know what you're talking about. I did write them a letter though, because I'm just like, I did write them a letter begging for the house. They didn't make me do it, but we did it. Please, please, please give us the house. Please, pretty please. We want house. Give us house. One house now, please. Alright, goodbye, Hangarback Walker. You belong to our opponent now. Yeah, I usually like I love to like fast roll with a great sword. I think it's always really fun, but it always like takes so long to get like the endurance and the strength like required to do it in any of the games. So you usually end up dying a lot in the early game. Yeah, I did mention I'm actually trophy record holder, aspiring Spike. I'll gift you a tier 4 sub to twitch.tv/aspiring Spike if you house us. Jace plus, huh? They left us with Stirring, so I'm kind of surprised. Ravager might be lethal. Oh, it's not because the Llanowar Reborn enters tapped. It's pretty close, though. I mean, Llanowar Reborn, we still need the graft counter. Dang it. Is Hangarback Walker better? I don't think so. We're 1 mana short of killing them here. Unfortunate. That being said, we're still in pretty good shape. Oh, although maybe I shouldn't have grafted because now I'm kind of weak to the Jace minus. B_said 23 months. What a magnificent demon. Why are they bringing Jace against me? I don't know. It's okay, maybe. It's obviously good when they're ahead like this. I'm a bit surprised. I don't think I would have. Yeah, a lot of times, like the best answer is like a lot of times, yeah, Murktide players, they just want to cast Jace the Mind Sculptor to feel alive. That's the main reason. Have to fade a burn spell the Ravager. Well, it's a 6/6 currently. I can make it a 10/10 if I need to. Or sorry, no. We'll bigger than that. So here's something I could do is I could just put the counters on the Nexus right now. And if I fade if I bounce this like 10/10. Wait, can I still 10/10? Oh, I can, yeah. Okay. Well, that's weak against counterspell, right? This is so I either get to play around a removal spell or a counterspell. And so yeah, so if I put the counters on now, I don't lose to I beat a counterspell, but I'm still weak to a removal spell next turn anyways. I'm still weak to Lightning Bolt. So I think it makes sense to move the counters over now. So if I sack this is going to put 8 counters, so I need to sack the drum. First video Confiner Collage was May 2nd, 2021. Okay, so that maybe it hasn't been a year. Although, were there videos before that? Or were there videos because I don't remember when my YouTube editor started to work on the channel. I don't remember when it was. Right. Game 3, get to win the play. There. Okay, cool. So May 2nd. So probably like late April actually, because usually there's a little delay on the videos. So not quite the year anniversary of the collage. Is Automaton better than Stirrings this match? Automaton's really good in this matchup. Yeah, it's good against Archmage's Charm. It doesn't get killed by Dress Down. It's resilient to the removal spells. Automaton is, I think, probably at its best in this matchup even. Okay, let's keep this. What's the brew? We're trying out Patchwork Automaton in Scales. It's been pretty good so far. And then we're also like more of a green base because we're playing a colorless card instead of like Smith. Speak of the Automaton, huh? I think I might wait on the Saga. When I get my Jade Avenger tattoo, I'm gonna go in with the Russian sketch version. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about like either that or like obviously the sketch version versus the colored version are the two contenders. I don't know. They brought in Relic. Relic doesn't do anything against us. It doesn't stop the death triggers. Yeah, I think that they heard that Graveyard Hate is good against Scales, and they brought in Relic, but Graveyard Hate is only good if it stops the dies triggers in this matchup. I mean, I guess we are a Lurrus deck, but okay, let's play the Saga this turn, and then I think I play Ravager attack. So I guess it's probably best to pump, then play the Ravager, although it is true that if my opponent has a non-delirious heat, I can't save the Ravager anymore. How do I feel about Murktide? Is it with no Rag sub Delver? It's worse than playing Ragavan, but it's a fine budget variant. Absolutely fine. It's also possible Sprite Dragon is better than Delver in that deck, but I'm not 100% sure. Ballista double kill. I can't get 2 counters on the Ballista this turn, can I? Yeah, I can't kill both channel. If I could, that'd be pretty good, but I don't think I can. So I don't should be F6'd. Why Relic? It's just a mistake, you know. There's nothing. There's no tech here. There's nothing. Nothing going on. It is just not correct to bring in. Spirit tattoos. Finish Brooklyn 99. I almost die when I find select captain holds tattoo. Yeah, I don't think I've seen like the last season. Maybe like the last 2 seasons. I did like that show though. I can't remember, like, I just, like, in one of those shows where, I got caught up, and then I just never, like, caught, like, the last season or so. No, it's for Sentinels in green and white. Well, this is kind of like the mono green version. The idea is that the idea is you're playing Automaton over Smith, and at that point, like, Sentinel's really good in Scales, but Sentinel's, like, the only 1-drop white card you're playing, and your mana does get a lot better if you don't play it. So the idea is that we're trying Ancient Stirrings over Sentinel, which is a good card in the deck too. Absolutely, you know, a fine option, right? That's just the idea here. You got any Attack on Titan fan theories? I have nothing but Attack on Titan fan theories, but I can't share them with you because of spoilers. So they exiled the Lightning Bolt's iteration. No attacks. Oh, so they're trying to block. Okay. No attacks. What are they doing? Could they be blocking? White Pain lands. So if you look at the way the deck's built, right? We have only 8 colored spells in the main deck. Zabaz kind of counts, but also kind of doesn't, and Lurrus. And so the Pain lands help you cast or use your Zabaz, cast Lurrus, but the reality is like you're just not going to tap these for colors more than like probably like twice a game on average. And then you know I do value, they now are see that Relic doesn't stop modular. I now yeah, sorry, hold on, modular. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's actually another point after that. We're just playing both of these. I can play a 2/2 Ballista and then Relic them next turn and get their guys dead. Let's play a 2/2 Walker. We lost to Hammer. Our match we beat Hammer Then we beat Prowess. We lost to Hammer. Now playing against Murktide. How about Mikiku's Red Truth? I don't like it that much. The card is like very easy to play around in my experience watching people play it. I could be misevaluating it. Also, I absolutely like, but my issue is it's just so easy to play around. Where like when you compare it to Cranial Plating, which the card is similar to, of course, like plating is much trickier. It's much trickier to play around. And it itself is also not an artifact when you compare it to Cranial Plating or Nettle Cyst. Is another thing I don't love about the card. It was a white-red Prowess that we beat. You can only watch one anime, any link, what should I watch? Well, I don't know necessarily what your preferences and tastes are. It might be Attack on Titan, dude. That shit is fucking amazing. And I also feel like if people like don't watch anime, you know, Attack on Titan is definitely just widely regarded as just a classically good show. You know what I mean? Like it's just good TV. Yeah. Cowboy Bebop is also like a very, very good show. You know, I usually don't think of anime as anime. I have shows that I like and I have shows that I dislike, and some of them are anime, right? And my favorites are probably Attack on Titan is quickly becoming a favorite, but it hasn't ended yet. But my two favorites are usually Code Geass and then Parasite, the Maxim, and those are usually my two favorite. I think those are my two favorites. And then, you know, Cowboy Bebop's really good. I have a lot of love for Naruto, but it's also just like more nostalgia, to be honest, than like it actually being like a super high quality show. I've never seen any One Piece. One Piece has been like, a lot of my friends have been talking about it lately, but it's just too late for me to get into. There's too many episodes. Yeah, it's kind of like it's very similar to Naruto. You just can't like start. You can't start Naruto now. I agree. It's just too late. Oh, sorry. I thought that these would get exiled. I guess not. Flooding out a little bit, huh? We get to kill Jace. Got some utility lands. Got a Lurrus, although we can't actually cast Lurrus. Oh yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is great. One Punch Man's really good. Season 1 was amazing. Season 2 was good, but it wasn't as good. I'm actually caught up on the manga on One Punch Man. Yeah, Evangelion's Esther's favorite. That's good too. Definitely a weird one though. I've seen it, but I saw it when I was like 18. Oh, Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi is also one of my favorites. It came out last year. It's one season, self-contained story, really interesting, good dialogue. That one was definitely one of my favorites too. We were talking about it a lot last year. They're making an Odd Taxi movie. That's really exciting to me. So I can tap this so they get one less token. I think that's probably not worth. I feel like, yeah, Lurrus just doesn't do anything here. I think I'm just going to send it with the Nexi and the Automaton. How do you rate Arcane versus the anime I've listed? Arcane is incredible, and I don't know. It's like Arcane is incredible. I would say that it definitely ranks up there with my favorites. Maybe is better than some of my favorites I listed, but Arcane. I don't know anything about the League of Legends universe, but boy was I so impressed by Arcane. They dogged 4 months. Matt with the 4 months as well. Thank you guys. It's kind of I love when that happens. I love when you just see 2 resubs of the same amount of time back to back. Yeah, me and Esther watched, like, you know, we started watching Arcane. We had no idea what it was, and we just were so obsessed with it. Yeah, I also wouldn't recommend Jobless Reincarnation. We started it, and it was honestly like I feel pretty gross, to be quite frank. Ash, 5 months, Arcane Pog. Yeah, Arcane is so good. Dude, Wizards sent all these like arcane all this arcane merch to creators, and there is like these awesome like glass panels, and they didn't give me one, and I just like you can't buy them either. But I want the Vi one so badly. I DM'd a couple people asking if I could buy theirs, and they said no. Of course they said no. Oh man, but I wanted one so bad. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's pretty good too. Man, I watch a lot of TV, huh? Okay, this attack puts them dead to Ballista. Pretty bad attack, I think. Everyone has a price. Yeah, I just asked if they're interested in selling. They said no. Wasn't going to be pushy. Simple Mantic in 3 months. Expressive and expressive. Splinter situation. Looks like it, huh? Oh yeah, dude. I always feel like I don't watch that much TV, and then we have these conversations. I'm like, I've seen that. But yeah, me and Esther did also watch Peacemaker recently. We both really liked that one too. That was a show that we were like really surprised by. Okay, they've got an Alpine Moon. We're pretty dead unless we draw Ballista and they somehow don't have counter magic. No, Peacemaker is a live act. They actually got real people in Peacemaker. It's crazy. They got real live people in there acting, and one of them is John Cena, and he plays a character. I don't say anymore. Dude, we flipped out pretty bad this game. Dude, we've had so many 2-0s into 2-2s lately. See if we get a 3-2. Feels like you have more red sources than needed versus not enough white sources. Maybe. I mean, activating the red on Zabaz is a lot more relevant than activating the white on Lurrus. And, you know, especially with the Springleaf Drum, I agree that we are light on white sources for Lurrus, but like Lurrus is like more so just kind of here, you know, than it is like a big part of our deck's game plan. And you know, you still get to cast it sometimes. Lurrus is basically uncastable. I think with the Springleaf Drum, I would not qualify it as uncastable. Should you count Urza Saga as a source though? Because if like you know that you're going to be going for Lurrus on the game, then you get to tutor your Springleaf Drum. So it's kind of like you have 11 sources. Or, you know, maybe you count it as like 9. But like Springleaf Drum being a tutor target makes it like, you know, makes me think you should count it as more than one source. Fuck. Worst matchup. And not only is Mill the worst matchup for Scales, but we drew both of our basics naturally. We have 2 basics against the Field of Ruin deck. We drew both of our basics. Although I guess they can't Field of Ruin the basic, but now they can Field of Ruin this. Yeah, we do have the Emrakul on the sideboard. The matchup is still really bad even with the Emrakul, but Emrakul gives you a chance to win. Once you count that, you can't count Drum as a source. Yeah, the math gets weird, but it is true. If when you have Drum in play, you just need 1 Brushland or 1 Spire. You know, I don't know. Why is the worst matchup? Tasha's Hideous Laughter will one-shot you a lot of the time, because if you look at the curve here, the total mana value of the deck is 27 plus 8 35. That is the total mana value of the deck is 35. They don't have another land. That is actually huge. Is the biggest deal. you could have ever imagined. Were you ever supposed to cast the first Ballista for 0? I think you would do that if you couldn't make the Patchwork any bigger, right? Well, double chump. But yeah, if you couldn't make the Patchwork any bigger, that would seem fine. So you could attack through the 0-3, but we were attacking for 3, so it didn't seem correct in that spot. I was playing a single swap in Black Troll Charm. It's just like Lurrus is really different, right? Like Lurrus is, you know, like being a companion, being a card you only get in the late game when you're completely out of resources. Being a card that you only get in the late game when you're out of resources, like it just does work differently than this is the second time that's happened today. Than a card like Archmage's Charm. Like you know, in my opinion, you know, maybe I'm out of touch, huh? Out of time, perhaps. Out of my head, you might say. Worst matchup, you say? Yeah. Well, a lot of times you can beat your worst matchup when they get stuck on 2 lands, and then don't read Ward 2. This hand kind of is medium, kind of mulligan. You definitely want a fast hand in this matchup if you can find one. $24 seems like too many lands. This is what Mr. Sari plays. You could potentially trim, but this deck is very mana hungry, and this deck really needs to hit like its first 3 land drops. And like you have a lot, you know, 4 of these are Urza Saga, 4 of these are Nexus. You know, you have a lot of utility lands. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Yes! Emrakul! Emrakul tanking the hit! Only 5 cards milled. He's carrying us, bruv. Literally carrying us. Notably, you cannot Veil of Summer at Tasha's. Okay, Fractured Sanity, each opponent. Why can't we Veil of Summer these? Why isn't Veil of Summer better? I might actually have the kill here. No, I definitely have the kill with Veil of Summer up. I guess it's kind of free to activate. Isn't Iron Apprentice better than Arcbound Worker? So the actually having the modular keyword is relevant because if you have Zabaz. So Zabaz makes Worker modular for 2, where Ironbound Apprentice, I believe, just doesn't have the keyword, right? A humble 14/14 infect, huh? Alright, we quickly 2-0'd Mill. That feels pretty good. That's not going to happen too often. To, you know, come back and get a nice 3-2 Scales. I like this list. I would play it again. I definitely think there's a lot of ways to build the deck. And, you know, most of your options are pretty good with Scales. Like, the deck's quite strong. You have to spend, like, most of your time with it to really know what the best version is, I think. We might spend some more time with it, too. That being said, we're going to play some more of the red